Well, a group of mostly Republican economists is voicing its concerns over the recent moves made by the Federal Reserve in an open letter to Chairman Ben Bernanke. Columbia University Business School professor and also the former Fed consultant Charles Calomiris is one of the group's authors, and he also joins us now here in the studio. Charles, great for you to stop by here in short notice.
My pleasure.
Tell me first off, for you, how did this all come together for you to sign this letter?
Well, I've been arguing the point with Fed officials for several weeks now. We had a meeting at Jekyll Island as part of the 100th anniversary celebration of the creation of the Fed.
Yes.
And I noticed that a lot of people within the Fed, I won't mention any names, but bank presidents and research directors with decades of experience in monetary policy were livid about this. Actually, they're not voicing their opposition, but
you mean they're not publicly saying that they're angry about this, but privately they're saying they're angry?
And I think they share many of my concerns. But, you know, the Fed is a place that has inside disagreement, but outwardly tries to appear uniform.
But are you saying that at Jekyll Island, that is where this idea of a letter came about, or how? How did this happen?
No, you're asking about my own involvement. So I think that there is real importance in making these issues open, and I was encouraged by the fact that there's so many people within the Fed who agree with me. But the letter that was created came to me by email. I read it, I agreed with it, I noticed the other signatories on it, and that was really all I can tell you about the letter. I know it's people at Economics 21.
Was it just
a couple days ago?
Okay.
So the people at Economics 21, which is a think tank operating in New York and Washington, that was the point of contact that sent me.
So they're the ones that sent you that email, then?
Yes.
Some have said, though, that this would have more credibility if you had more Democrats signing on to this.
I didn't check who the signatories were before I signed. I signed based on the content.
Well, you just said that you saw who the signatories were.
A couple. At the time I signed, Ron McKinnon and John Taylor were both signed on. But more importantly than the names I saw, the sentiment of the letter, I think, is right on target.
But what do you hope to accomplish with this, Charles?
My goal is to empower voices within the Fed who I know already oppose this to find an exit strategy for getting out of this embarrassing situation for the Fed. And I'm hopeful.
An exit strategy? We haven't even started the quantitative easing. I mean, do you honestly think that that's going to be good for this economy and this country if we stop something in the middle?
Yes, because it's a bad idea. You should always stop bad ideas as soon as possible. There's no reason to reverse accommodative monetary policy right now. We have a zero interest rate policy. There's no reason to have any dramatic shift, but this monthly infusion of growth in the Fed's balance sheet on top of that is unnecessary and dangerous. I want to emphasize, Betty, we don't suffer currently from a deflation problem. This is an insurance policy that Ben Bernanke has justified against a deflation possibility.
Well, we may not suffer from a deflation problem currently, but we are on the edge, as some have said, of a deflationary problem.
No, not at all.
Why?
I can answer it. If you look at expectations long-term of inflation, they've remained persistently above 2.2%. So there's no evidence that the market expects inflation. Furthermore, there's never been deflation. There's never been an episode I'm aware of in history where a commodity price boom, an exchange rate depreciation, and huge fiscal deficits have led to a deflationary shock. This is just nonsensical.